I want to thank you all for coming out. I just want to share my story with you all. My name is Bobby Depper, and I was enslaved to drugs for many years and a drifter throughout America, throughout many cities throughout America, until I found a cool spot in Dallas behind a fire station. I camped there for a good while, and one night a storm came and destroyed my campsite. And it was real late, society had already gone to bed, and there was no one else for me to turn to except for Jesus Christ. So when I first decided to reach out to him, I had a whole lot of anger to hand him. I sure did. I cussed him, I yelled at him, I blamed everything on him. And then after about 20 minutes of that, then I started feeling bad for all the things I said to him. Then I started looking at some of the choices that I made. And then I started to say, I'm sorry. I started feeling regret, pain, and sorrow for the things that I'd done to people. And the people that hurt to acquire the drugs. And I kind of realized that the choices is what got me there. And I said, Father, I can't free myself from the slavery of drugs. If you will please come into my life and change me, I would be ever so thankful. Well, that prayer didn't stop the rain from coming. I ended up walking to a newspaper machine, and I got all the newspapers I could out of that newspaper machine and climbed in that dumpster, and I cried myself to sleep. Well, the very next day, I woke up with some eye pain. I woke up blind in that eye, and I was kind of hurt by that. I thought, well, I asked God to help me, and this is what I get. Little did I know what was about to happen. I realized I needed to get to the hospital, and I needed to get to the hospital fast. And so I walked over to the valet stand, and I asked my buddy Chris for some change to get to the hospital. Well, as I was asking him, a black shiny Maybach had pulled up, and the man was standing behind me, and he says, no, don't give him any change. I thought, how could somebody say that? How could they be so cruel? And as I was about to turn around to ask the man, why would he be so cruel? The man was handing me a $100 bill. And little did I know that was the beginning of God's answering my prayer. It was Tony Romo. He was handing me a $100 bill. And at first, I didn't make the connection to answer the prayer. I just thought it was, hey, it's cool, I met Tony Romo. But I ended up making it to the hospital after Tony sharing me some words of encouragement. And then the hospital staff started filing for disability benefits for me because I'm terminally ill. Normally that takes months or years from what I understand, but God had to have a hand in that because they got it practically overnight. So then I decided I wanted to get my own apartment. So I thought, well, there's no way I'm going to get an apartment. I have a drug history, I have a criminal history, it's just not possible. I didn't realize that God had a whole lot more in store for me from that one desperate prayer behind that dumpster. And it wasn't a prayer from the mouth. It wasn't a prayer from the top of my head. It was a deep emotional prayer. It was a prayer from within. It was a prayer that I need you prayer. And that one simple prayer done a whole lot because that first application I filled out for an apartment was approved. So when I got the keys to that apartment, I walked in the door, I looked around, I saw the kitchen, I saw the living room, I saw the bedroom. I thought, wow, this is pretty cool, but I can't do this. I just couldn't do it. I walked out, I remember that day, I walked out the door and I shut the door and I left and I went back to my alley behind my dumpster. You know why I did that? I was very thankful for what God has done in my life. So I went to my alley and I moved all of my friends in that alley with me. Well, remember I told you it was behind a fire station? Well, guess what? Those firemen were very proud and very happy for what I did. They came to me and said, Bobby, we want to help. What can we do? What do you need? I said, well, I need some food and furniture for me and my friends. Captain Blankenship said, give me 48 hours. We're going to load the place up, son. And sure enough, they did. Well, a couple of weeks later, they were in trouble. The city mayor and city council was doing some budget cuts against the station, and they could potentially lose their jobs. Well, they couldn't campaign against the city because they worked for the city, but God says, Bobby, you can. He gave me the heart to want to help them after they've helped me behind the dumpster many nights with a meal. So I ended up on TV, challenging city council, passing out flyers, rallying up the community. Well, I ended up winning, and I'm watching myself on TV campaigning for the fire station. And then I'm hearing sirens going down my street. I think, wow, there's a fire in my street as I'm watching them on TV helping them. Well, little did I know they were heading to my house. And they came and got me and took me to the fire station, sprayed me down with a water hose, and they said, guess what, Bobby, you now work here. And so that's where my first ministry was born, was there at the Dallas Fire Station, number 11 in Uptown. I worked there for 3 years, and I did a lot of things there in the community, in the homeless community, until they passed laws against feeding people that are homeless. So when they passed that law, does that mean I give up on being thankful for what the Lord has done in my life? Of course not. Does that mean I hang out at the fire station and get spoiled by the firemen and the police? Exactly. So that means I'm quitting my job. I quit my job at the fire department to serve Jesus full time, and now I'm here in Des Moines doing what I can. I want to thank you all for being here, but I would like to know if you guys can help me. There's a few things I'm needing. I wanted to relaunch my Roundup program, my Roundup events, and of course I want to keep the beat going, because keeping the beat going helps me build relationships, and this whole ministry is powered by relationships. I want to keep building relationships in the homeless community and those that are on the verge of being homeless, and the way I do that is by keeping basic needs flowing in through my apartment. And in addition to that, I want to get hands and feet involved so we can bring the gap between the haves, those that have, and those that have not. Because a lot of you guys can't do and work the streets like I can. I get that. Because most of y'all have never done drugs, right? Has anybody had a crack pipe? No? Right? Probably not. So a lot of you guys don't know how to work the street environment, right? You know what I mean? So I'm able to do that. So the way I do that is by creating an event called the Roundup. It's going to be a wide open event where everyone's there present, so you're going to be able to build some relationships and be able to share some your story, or you can hear stories and kind of let God do His thing. We don't want to try to micromanage what God can do in any type of situation. And having an open event like that, some relationships can be born, and God can work through you, because you might have just the verse that I didn't think of that might impact someone's life there, or they might have a story for you that might impact your life. And the whole while, things are many basic needs are being met by those that have extra to share in service to the Lord. So I want to thank you so much, and those needs are listed on my Facebook page. You can friend me if you'd like. My name is Bobby Depper, Depper. And most of those basic needs are tents, sleeping bags, backpacks, hygiene supplies, non-perishable foods, and most importantly, gift cards. I like to meet the need right where it's at, so I often go out and I build relationships by having lunch or dinner with a new homeless friend at a McDonald's, at a Quiznos, at a Arby's, a Long John Silver's, any fast food place at all. And also, I don't like to keep a lot of cash on me. You can put money in my GoFundMe account for those on-the-spot needs, for like medicine co-pays or bus tickets back home to Massachusetts. But I like to keep a lot of spare coins in my pocket, quarters. So if you have spare coins, start collecting those spare coins, because I keep coins on me so I can pay for bus fare or help my homeless friends at camps with laundry. So those are some of the things I'm looking for. And again, you can find that list on my Facebook page. Thank you all. Does anyone have any questions? No? All right. Thank you so much. God bless you.